Okay, I'm going to go through drawing the two graphs for exercise 19C. I know everyone had a little bit of trouble with it, so I'm going to show you how to do it by actually physically doing it as a video so you can watch. Okay, the first one is the dot plot. So I've already drawn up the scale. I've just gone across 1 centimetre. It's a little longer on this end. I don't know what the scores are. It does say a group of 30 people in the building trade were asked how many times in the last week they had visited a particular hardware shop. So I could, if I wanted to, call it hardware shop visits. Okay, so I'm going to create my dots, and what I need to do is make sure that my dots are evenly spaced and equally sized. So the first one is a 0. I'm going to use the grid paper. Crossing them off as I go. I've got a 2. I've got another 2. I've got a 1. I've got another 0, and then another 0, and then a 3. And then a 4, and then a 1, and a 1, and then 3 zeros. Okay, I think you get the hang of it and you can keep doing it that way. Now, notice what I did. If I go back over and make these dots a little bigger, if I make a little mistake, they've all got to be bigger. I can't leave one bigger than the rest, and they've all got to be in line. So using the grid paper makes it a lot easier. Okay, now if we have a look at drawing the column graph. Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 scores. If it's a column graph, it means I need columns, equally spaced columns, and I need spaces in between them. So because I'm going to need the spaces in between them, what I normally would do is come across and say, okay, I've got 4. I would normally need 4 to come across 4 centimetres. But because I'm doing a column graph where I'm going to need the equal space in between them, I'm going to use 2 centimetres for each one. 1 for the column and 1 for the 1 centimetre for the space. So I'm going to come across at least 8. So I've just drawn it all that length there, which won't matter too much. So now I need to make my marks on my scale, and I'm going to come across every 2 centimetres and make 4 marks for my scores. So this one will be my chips, my biscuits, lollies, and my fruit. Okay, I've got to go up as high as 18. So instead of drawing that rather large, I'm just going to draw it going up by 2s or half centimetres. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I need to go a little bit longer. 17, 18, 19, just for good measure. Okay, so this is going to be my frequency, and this one will be my score, or I can write score, or I can also write snack along the bottom. Okay, now the first one I've got is my chips. It has a frequency of 8, so I'm going to use a centimetre either side. So I'm going to come up each side of my chips so that it chips is in the middle, and I've got to come up to 8. So coming up to this one here, using my ruler, and up the other side, so I've got an equal centimetre, half a centimetre either side, and my word chips, or my little mark for my score chips, is exactly in the centre. And now I'm going to go to my biscuits. So my biscuits, I've got 14, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So biscuits, I'm coming up this row here all the way to there, just making a little mark so I know where I've got to go. I'm using pen, like a felt pen, so you can see it clearly on the video, but I would advise that when you are always drawing a graph, you should be using a pencil. And just because you draw across the top doesn't mean, again, that you're not using your ruler. You should always be using your ruler. Okay, I think you can continue to finish off the lollies and the fruit. And that should help you if you're not sure how to draw that graph.